For you, if you zoom in on this facial expression, Leo, it doesn't take much to put people in a bit of froth and bubble. So that's a little ninja quote, that one. So yeah, I was going to reveal that I've signed up. Guys, Jason and my old mate Ninja here, part 2. So if you didn't see Ninja's video treating my abs and diaphragm and hip flexors, go and have a look at that. That's part 1. This is part 2. So we tried to introduce it in that video, but didn't get around to it. So I'm going to do a shoulder treatment on Ninja, work through a bit of his bicep and work up here. So if you've got some shoulder pain, this is going to be a good video for you. We're also going to have a bit of a chat about a goal that I'm setting myself and a bit of a training regime that I've got to have to do a new competition. So we'll start with the shoulder. So we're just going to start with Ninja's favourite move in the shoulder, which is just simply a pin. So if you're struggling with any anterior shoulder pain, so you're struggling to do overhead pressing, bench pressing, or just general movements of the shoulder are feeling quite painful and uncomfortable, this treatment's going to be really good for you. If you zoom in on this facial expression, Leo, it doesn't take much to put people in a bit of froth and bubble. So that's a little ninja quote, that one.
I know. Froth.
So yeah, I was going to reveal that I've signed up to do a Hyrox in Sydney in July, so a solo. So I did a mixed doubles with my wife at the end of last year in December. So you split the train, or you can split the exercise however you want, but you have to do the running together. But now I'm doing the full thing all by myself. So I've made the call last Wednesday. The registration came out and I bit the bullet and signed up. And I'm going to commit to it on here. I'm going to say I'm aiming for an hour 10 or under.
10.
So
I reckon an hour and 6 you're going to get.
We did it in an hour 27 with my wife, but I'm aiming for under an hour and 10. So I've had a bit of a look on AI to get a bit of a rough plan. So I'd like to get under an hour 10, but Ninja's actually pretty close. So an hour 10 worked out at a rough average of the 8 1 kilometre runs, sort of between a 4:10 and a 4:30 across the 8Ks plus the exercises. They sort of gave a rough timeline of that too. But I actually asked if I went for a 3:40 to 3:50 average, what would that get me? And they spat out sort of about an hour 2 to an hour 5. So I'd love to just have the hour 10 as like the minimum or the maximum that I want to do. But if I could get around that hour 2 to hour 5, that'd be, a really good goal for me to hit. So I've got to ramp up my training. So what is it currently, Ninja? It's late March. So
No,
1st of April. April Fool's. No, this isn't an April Fool. I am committing to this. So yeah, I've got April, May, June, July. So about 3 months to put the work in. So got to build up my running capacity as well as still my strength and endurance in my legs. So yeah, if you haven't heard of Hyrox before, it has, as I mentioned, 8 1 kilometre runs, and then in between each run you have a different exercise station. So you complete that and then you go back and do the next run, then you roll on into the next exercise and the next exercise. So it's sort of a new exercise challenge that's come up in the last couple of years, and it's a good challenge for those that like the gym and like a bit of running as well, but it's not as much of an endurance test as, say, a half marathon or a full marathon. So it's got that good crossover of needing to have a bit of endurance and a bit of speed and power and strength. So I've committed to that for this year anyway, for in July. So Ninja and Aaron were poking me a fair bit to hang up the footy boots, and I only just came to the decision last week when I did book the tickets to the Hyrox that I'm at least going to have this year off footy. So that's a first in my 33 years. Well, I wasn't playing when I was 1, but since I've been about 8 or 9. So it's, been a big part of my life, but I thought I'd set myself a different challenge.
Yeah.
So Ninja's got to hold me to it now. Yeah. At least an hour 10 or an hour 2 to an hour 5. Ninja is what we're sort of aiming for. So got to get out there and start doing some 1K efforts and running on tired legs. That's the big thing, of a bit of cross training, of doing some walking lunges. Maybe I'll rope Ninja for that session, do 80 metres of walking lunges and then running a K. Maybe we'll film a few of those sessions for you to put up on our channel over the few weeks, just to update you of how I'm going with my training. But
We can do a mini Hyrox.
We can do another mini Hyrox. Yeah, we can do that.
1/10 of it or something.
Yeah, we could do like a 500
runs.
we could do like a 500-meter run into a half of the exercise or something like that.
Can we go over in the oval and run around the oval?
Yeah, we could do
something like that. I'm thinking.
There we go. So yeah, stick around for that. But yeah, I'll also be getting plenty of treatment in this journey to make sure that I'm fit and firing and don't have any of my calf issues that have they've cleared up at the moment. But last year they were sort of giving me some grief. So we'll still be doing plenty of treatment videos. So stick around for those. How are you feeling about that, Ninja?
I'm wrapped.
Happy with that?
Yeah, it was gonna
decent goal. You were pretty close with the hour 6. You didn't even know what I was going to say, but you reckon an hour 6? So.
Yeah, it's my prediction.
It's a pretty good
Nostradamus.
I'd be pretty happy with that. That's the pros are doing it in sort of 50 minutes now, but I'm not anywhere near that on my own. So
one day, mate.
I think that's a mixed doubles. Oh, sorry, not mixed doubles. That's a doubles pairing that can get it done in that, because you can sort of split the exercises. So
yeah.
But obviously you still need to have good running capacity. But I'd be happy with that time that we've set.
Yeah, so it's an interesting kind of thing, because you've got to have endurance, plus you need a bit of power and strength endurance. So you've got to have all the different energy systems.
There's also a bit of a tactic of like not doing a 3:30 on your first lap and then blowing out to a 6 minute or a 5 minute in your last lap. So you've got to sort of like pace yourself in the first half and then sort of keep that consistent speed, rather than going, I'm feeling good at the start and your first 2Ks are really quick and your last 2 are really slow. Mm-hmm. So it's sort of that thing of like building into it, like, not letting it get too ahead of yourself too soon.
And you were talking about, like, I think with maybe sleds and walking lunges, like you don't just do it all straight.
So they say like so the sled track is a 12.5 metre push, but you got to do 4 laps, so 50 metres in total. But what the pros do is they might do a half length, stop, even if they're not feeling it, stop, shake their legs out, then do another half length, because if you get to that point where you're pushing and you've hit that sort of lactate fatigue, that feeling, you struggle to get rid of that when you go into your run. So if you keep thinking, I'm just going to be able to push through it and get through it, and it builds that lactate in your legs too early. So just having those little like 20-second break or 10-second break, it might just be a little break to shake it out and then go again. So there's different tactics like that you sort of need to practice training, and just have in your head that, okay, I'm feeling good at the start, but if I commit to too much intensity at the start, I'll blow up at the end. And finishing with 100 wall balls, I'm a bit worried about. That's the one that whenever I do a gym class and finish on wall balls, I just feel like I'm dead. So got to get your bum below your knees. So if you don't get low enough with your bum, they don't count the reps. So you've got to do 100 of those. And also, if you don't hit the middle of the target, that doesn't count either. So if you do 10 no reps, you've done 110 reps instead of 100. So that adds up a lot of time on your overall time if you're missing reps. So you've got to be quality while under fatigue, and right at the end of the race.
Yeah, what's your plan with wall balls? You do 10 at a time, or you?
I think 20 is probably good, but I'll see how I can go. Like, I don't want to have too many big breaks, but I think if I can do 20 at a time and just sort of little break, catch my breath, bang, 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 20 again, that'd probably be a pretty good thing. They do say, like, if you really want to be a good time, like, try and limit it to 2 breaks, like 50-50. But I'll just wait and see how I go with that.
Yeah. So which one do you hate the most? What's your favourite? What's your least favourite?
It'll be hard, like, because this is the other thing is, like, I felt pretty good in the burpee broad jumps, but doing it all myself might be a bit different. So that one's an exercise that can just cook you, because you've got to do that for like 80 metres or something like that. So you stand, do a big jump, and then you go down into a burpee, stand, do a big jump for 80 metres of that. So it gets you pretty gassed. But I actually don't mind that exercise, but we'll see how we do when I've got to do it on my own. Rowing machine's probably one that I'm not great with.
We don't do that stuff.
I don't train a lot of rowing. Ski machine's pretty much like a slam, so I sort of feel pretty conditioned to that. Wow. But it's more that rowing machine, because that can blow your legs up as well as your cardio if you go too hard. So I think I'm just going to set myself to just sort of get through that one and not really go too hard. Yeah, you got to do 1,000 metres on the rower and the ski. And then I think it goes, row into farmer's carry. So farmer's carry you can sort of get a bit of a rest because you're sort of just holding the weight and
you're good at
trying
that.
to walk or run as much for that 200 metres. So that could be like a 2.5 minute thing if you get, or depends how quick I can move, but
And so, what about drinks and stuff like that?
They do have drink stations along the way.
Yeah.
In the transition zone.
Yeah.
But if you stop in there, like that's your time, so you sort of got to pick one, have a quick drink, throw it in the bin, and keep going. So yeah, I didn't drink much the last time, so I've got to figure out because
if you need it or not.
My last time was sort of must have had the nervous energy. I went to the toilet a fair few times before the race, but then I got about halfway in. I was like, oh no, it started to rear its head again, and I was like, oh, surely I got rid of it all. But so we've got to make sure that the stomach region's feeling all right.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I'd drink or eat during
I think
it.
having a little, because if you don't drink,
Maybe if you just try,
just
you know how
little
they,
sips.
Yeah, it's like when you're playing footy, you just put it in your mouth and wash it out and spit it out, don't you?
Well, no, you're not allowed to spit on the track.
Yeah,
so you can't spit or do snot rockets or anything, otherwise you get penalised, and I think if you do it too many times, you can get disqualified. So
I'd be out.
You can't do it, you got to hold your bogies in. So, no big snot rockets.
Yeah. Cool.
But
looking forward to see how you go.
There it is. It's out in the public. First time I've announced what I want to goal that I want to hit. So now it's out there. Public forum.
Yep. And this is hurting, by the way.
Yeah. So back to the shoulder treatment. So we've worked our way down into sort of the bicep and brachialis, which is more the deeper, bigger muscle under the bicep there. So it can get quite locked up and stuck. So. We're sort of working down from the elbow. It can cause a bit of forearm and elbow pain as well if there's a bit of an imbalance around the elbow. So we're just slowly doing some big gouges up there, just using my pisiform because it is pretty tender, and you've seen Ninja's been in a bit of discomfort as I've been working here, so it doesn't need too much. And then what we can do is also just start to work this distal bicep, so because it can be anchoring down here, so if this is all pulling really tight, that can affect the top of the shoulder as well. So just starting here, and this is where we can start to even add in a little bit of dynamic sort of work. So dynamic treatment for us is really something we use quite a lot with our clients. So once we've done the pins and the holds and we've melted the tissue, we want to start to encourage it to move. So that's where the dynamic comes into it. How's your body feeling, Ninja, after our... how'd you pull up from the sprints the last week after the JJ's drill we did?
Yeah, it's tough,
Pretty
man.
gassed, yeah.
I think I'm getting a bit better, a bit more condition. We did the Judds the next day.
Oh, you did too, yeah.
On the Saturday, I think it was. Yeah, it felt like I'd played a game of footy, I tell you.
Heavy legs.
Yeah. I think our plan to try and spread the sprints out is probably a better idea. We'd go on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Try and get a Tuesday or something.
Like a weekend or, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday or something like that. Wednesday, Friday, Saturday might be good. Then we can have a full rest before lifts on Monday. So, extra session of chest as well on a Thursday.
Yeah.
So that's good. We're getting ready for the big boys to come out.
Yeah.
In June.
Counting down.
Yeah.
June or July? June they're coming out,
Yeah. So it'll be good. We hopefully talk it to them tomorrow and we'll
work it out.
Work out the times,
Nice.
So we've kind of had them penciled in. We got to
confirm.
Yeah. Put a bit of biro on that paper. Can't rub it out.
Might do one more. What do you reckon, Ninj?
Yeah,
one more through there. You felt like you wanted that one.
Yeah.
So connecting in. So we start with it a bit flexed, So we've taken the slack out of the bicep there, allows me to sink in, and then we can slowly start to extend and open it up. So if you're always working these sort of short curl ranges as well, all these sort of ranges, yeah, that could be really tightening up this bicep. So that's where this dynamic is, start to lengthen and open it up.
What are you saying, Jace? A few of our audience members might...
No, I'm just saying if you're in
like
the gym just doing a lot of curls.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Our man Darth, he likes to do a lot of curls, doesn't he? So
yeah.
This would be a good treatment for him.
Yeah. We have to get Darcy on it next. What do you reckon? Next,
yeah, you reckon he's doing
next month? Next month you'll get Darcy doing his biceps. Help him get a bit more range.
Oh, little flick, and then we're going to trace it up into that high tendon where we found some money at the start. Encourage that humeral head back. Bit of a mobilisation as well once we get up here. If you're really rounded in the shoulders. And there we go. All right, thanks for joining us today, guys. I'll spin around so I don't block Ninja. But yeah, there it is. Bit of a shoulder treatment, bit of a chat about my Hyrox goals. So yeah, stay tuned. We'll try and keep you updated on a few of the sessions that we do and how I'm tracking. So yeah, thank you. See ya. Little wave.